telling children or like younger people or like minors that they shouldn't be harassed, degraded, demeaned, and abused for simply not going by like he, him, or she, her pronouns is way less harmful than this. Like, she actually wants to form indoctrination gangs that target children on social media. That's what she wants to do. That's her next new thing that she wants to reach into. And Tucker Carlson agrees. Hey everyone. On this channel, we typically talk about women's rights, but today we're going to be talking about something almost as important, which is women's wrongs. And boy, this is a big one. And the woman in question today is Chaya Raichik, or I have no clue, and I don't really care. The woman behind Libs of TikTok. She recently went on Tucker Carlson earlier today and did something that, oh my gosh, nobody knew that was even possible. She showed her face. She showed her mug on live television to prove that she's not canceled or something along those lines. It was incredibly interesting. Now, I've seen her face for a little while, but that's because I've had to troll around some parts of the internet, many of which I disavow, who've already had her face and some other spicy information that we won't be going over today. But it's really funny because she hates this Taylor Lorenz woman, the media journalist who wrote an article about how she went from being some nobody Brooklyn real estate agent to being the face of a terrorist movement. And it's really funny because she looks like the dark world mirror evil twin doppelganger of Taylor Lorenz. This is Taylor Lorenz, and this is Chaya Raichik. It's incredible. It's a little uncanny. They do look like sisters in another world, in another life. They're on two opposite sides of the coin. You know, terrorist and celebrity journalist. Incredible differences. But I wanted to take a look at the interview itself because it's incredibly interesting. Now, I will tell you, you're thinking, Shark, no, please, Shark, don't do it. I can't listen to this woman talk for an hour. Yes, this is an hour long. Also, shout out to Chuds of TikTok for the upload. Go sub to Chuds of TikTok on YouTube, as well as follow them on Twitter.com. They post some great content, uneditorialized content of what the right gets up to. And I got to tell you, it's scary. But hold your horses, calm down. We won't be watching the entire thing because she is barely coherent, has a horrible speaking cadence, and I think negative ability to speak to a human being. It seems like she spends a lot of time behind the screen and not to people, and that's coming from a streamer, so you know it's bad. I have a couple of timestamps for you that we're going to be watching. And I got to tell you, it is not good.
So she showed up. She wanted to dox me, to share my identity, which, as we all know, she did. And I think, you know, a silver lining to all of that, I think, is...
So we didn't talk about it on the channel. We didn't upload a video about it, but Taylor Lorenz dropped an interesting article about the history of Chaya Raichik when it comes to her content and her Twitter account. And she's always, and ever since that, she's always had like this huge vendetta hate boner against Taylor. It's kind of cute. It's like a sort of a playground sort of you like them so you bully them type thing. But anyways, it was always interesting and a little funny to me that she always says that what happened to her was doxing, that Taylor Lorenz provided private information to the public that she took from somewhere in duplicitous manner and did duplicitous memes with it. This has always been incredibly funny to me, not because I want her doxed. I would never do that. I disavow. It's funny to me because she's just lying. Earlier in this interview, she talked about how much she was so private and she never talked about her life and that this was just something that came out of nowhere, that people did, but it's just not true. Like many of the things that she says, it's just simply a lie. And I can say that incredibly confidently because this Washington Post article came out not too long ago where it went over her like account and the history of it, and her first handle on Twitter was literally first name bunch of numbers. She literally just changed one letter, the first letter. And I'm actually pretty sure this is supposed to be the correct pronunciation of her name anyways, with a Shaya instead of a Chaya. But it's incredible to me to sit here and talk about how much you kept everything so private. It's just so private, when for the entire time your handle was literally your name, like you're 50 years old, which is fine. You can do that, but don't sit here and go, I can't believe people found out my name and they doxed me, when all we had to do was look at what you named your Twitter account like a month prior. It's stupid. And then after that, she kept the Chaya but left the bunch of numbers because maybe she didn't want to be seen as a bot. She doesn't want to get it confused with her identity as an NPC already. And then she changed it to Chaya Ray being the first part of her last name, Raichik or Raichik, again, literally her name as her handle, as she's trying to say she was somehow doxxed. She not only had that, but here is her account in the Wayback Machine with the big protest rally in Washington D.C. This plays 11. This was January 1st. All right. If you remember, this is 5 days before something very interesting happened. And she's in Trump's mentions right before he got banned. So looking forward to it. I'm so excited. Yay. Well, oh my goodness. Thank you, Donald Trump, with her literal name. And would you look at this? MAGA, real estate investor, political science. This is all just information you gave away to the public. Unless you're going to say you actually doxed yourself and that's why you don't want Taylor Lorenz to talk about it. This is just simple journalism that Libs of TikTok doesn't do and can't understand because she doesn't know what she's doing and doesn't care.
It's really important to show people what is happening on TikTok. That's part of what I do. It's like, if you let your kids have TikTok, this is what they're being exposed to. You know, there's activists saying all kinds of nonsense.
Damn, like you?
You know, trying to change our culture, and obviously, like a lot of the grooming stuff. I see a lot of that on TikTok.
Well, since it's controlled by the Communist Party of China,
Chi-Coms?
Why wouldn't this be
I'm so scared.
An effort to destroy the country's culture?
Exactly. Yeah.
Does it feel that? I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it. Does it feel that way when you look at it?
Yes.
Like someone's thinking through, like, what's the most sophisticated poison we can inject into the bloodstream?
Yes, and I think your show did a segment on the difference between the Chinese TikTok and the U.S. TikTok, and you can't even compare. They're like, theirs is educational. They're teaching you all kinds of, like,
get up early, work hard, make the country better. Ours is like, let's talk about me and my identity.
Let's talk about my ghost self pronouns. Like, this is what they're giving our kids, but for them, they're teaching them how to, like, build homes or something.
So true, bro. I hate China and communism, bro. They're so un-American. Anyways, don't you love it how the Chinese government forced censorship of everything that they don't like and feel like is degenerate and is ruining society, so they take complete control over what people think, see, hear, and say? Oh man, that's so cool. I can't believe here in the United States they do something as horrible as letting us say what we want to say. Well, in pretty curtailed version of it, but that's basically what they're arguing, okay? Be honest, these people, all right, I'm not going to use the F word. Maybe for Tucker, I'll use the F word. Tucker Carlson is a fascist apologist who feels like if we continue on this path of acceptance, civil rights, and tolerance, that the right will need to find their, like, Mussolini, they'll have to find their Hitler to be able to combat it, because if gay people get all of these rights and Hispanic people get all of these rights and all of this representation, then where will white Americans have to go besides to fascism to stop it? That's something that he actually believed, and he said, we did a segment on it. You may be able to find it up here. This is what these people are, okay? They're way closer to Al-Qaeda. They're way closer to, from across the world, they're way closer to the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping than they are to your average American. These are people who want to control your life. They want to control what you see. They want to control what you do. They want to control what you say, because everything that deviates from what they wholeheartedly believe is the only way in which the world works is a threat that must be extinguished, exterminated, done away with. And you see that with right-wing fundamentalists and radicals across the world and across time. These are just simply bad people. I'm not going to use the E word yet. We'll get there. But I want you to understand this. This is what these people are. And when you talk about it, it's important to try to use the words in which actually define them, because they'll say it themselves and talk about them in the way that they are.
It sounds like, in hearing you describe it, there's a whole separate universe that maybe 53-year-old conservatives like me are not privy to, but there's a whole world where the activist neoliberal left communicates with itself.
So true.
Yes.
All these neoliberals.
And social media, yeah, through.
Yeah, those
through
are the people
influencers.
at the forefront of this.
And I think, I mean, sometimes I wonder if the conservatives should focus on that, because they aren't really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I work at Fox News. I love Fox News, and I'm grateful that it exists, of course. And I spend my whole life making fun of Ben Collins on NBC or that.
Well, not NBC anymore. He was fired, right?
Oh, that's so great. I didn't know that.
Really?
That's.
Or he was or temporarily suspended. Yeah, last
Well,
week.
just go back to work at the CIA and everything will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. They're all interconnected.
Oh, I've noticed. Yeah, or whatever, that Stelter kid I used to be
Everyone
on
I do
CNN
not
or
like
whatever.
is a
But we
Fed.
get very focused on what's happening in legacy media as if it has influence. But I hear you talk, and I'm thinking, like, maybe we should. I've never been on TikTok, and I cover the news, so maybe we're looking in the wrong places.
Good Lord, can you imagine Tucker Carlson Tucker Carlson TikTok arc? Yeah, the big thing is that all of these people would be banned from TikTok just instantly for the things that they say and what they believe. They'd be erased. They'd be Thanos snapped. Because if they got any sort of like actual relevance to say the things that they actually want to say, they'd be gone, bro. People like gay people get banned off of TikTok for talking about being gay a little too vividly. These people would get banned for the terrorism that they're doing. Like, let's be honest, like the second they tried. It's wild.
I think it's just growing with the times, like keeping up. So I think conservatives, TikTok is separate from other social medias because TikTok is Chinese spyware. But all the other social media channels like Instagram, the Democrats, they use it so well with their influence on it and influencers. And
also, just so you understand, all social media and anywhere where they want you to give you your information, that's all spyware. It's all literally, by this definition, it's all social media is spyware, and it's not necessarily wrong. But they only really care about it when it's Chinese people because yellow man scary.
Their activism, and I think conservatives should also, Instagram isn't going away. TikTok might, Instagram isn't, and other social channels. So I think they should try to target that younger audience that's on these social channels.
And again,
so I want you to just I just want to like take a moment to understand what she just said, because what she just said is exactly what her entire like thing against the left is about. That's exactly what she just said. What she just said, and let's be honest, is that she admits live on Fox News that she wants to push conservatives to form grooming gangs in order to get close to children and younger audiences online to be able to bring them right-wing propaganda, to fold them into their movement without parental understanding, knowledge, and under their nose for their own political gain. This is exactly what she calls her definition of grooming. This is all of their new definition of grooming. And this is on top of the fact that they've now completely changed the definition of grooming that gives less words to children who are actually abused in the real world. These people, they don't care about children. They're taking words that children can use to explain things that adults do to them that is wrong, immoral, and harmful for their own political gain. What's more disgusting than that? What's more gross than that? Really? Think about it. I really don't know what is. And I can tell you, telling children or like younger people or like minors that they shouldn't be harassed, degraded, demeaned, and abused for simply not going by like he, him, or she, her pronouns is way less harmful than this. Like, she actually wants to form indoctrination grooming gangs that target children on social media. That's what she wants to do. That's her next new thing that she wants to reach into. And Tucker Carlson agrees.
Again, you would know the answer to this. Is anyone doing that?
Not really. Definitely not as good as the Democrats are doing it. Not as
And
much.
You see what is obvious to you, propaganda from the party.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
And you see none from the other side.
No.
Well, I'm embarrassed even to say this out loud because it's all so obvious, but that seems like a huge problem.
It is huge.
It's a huge problem. Man, we need to get close to children online and feed them propaganda in our grooming gangs that specifically target younger people. Man, I can't believe we're not doing that much. Man, we should really get on that. This is insane. This is insanity right now, bro. And it's gross. It's disgusting. And they don't even know or care or understand what they're doing. They just have hate in their hearts, and they're like, as many young people we can get to be homophobic, no matter what the cost is, we need to do it because we're losing. We're losing. And that's the biggest thing that you need to understand is that, yeah, this is all sucks, and yeah, this is all really bad, but it's important to understand that they're doing this because they're losing, especially when it comes to what we just saw with Gen Z and the amount that they voted for not Republicans, right? Like, I didn't vote for Republicans in the 2022 election cycle. They're bad people who like want me and my friends dead. It's as simple as that. And I don't want to vote for them because they want to like ban some of my friends from being able to hold like public office or be teachers or things along those lines, and once again are trying to bomb as many children's hospitals as possible in 2022. Like, that's all of this is gross. All of this is disgusting. All right. And so instead of actually just convincing people of what they need, and this has been a big thing with conservatives, is that they're like, man, we need to get to the children. We need to intervene with children. We need to get in there and start like filling kids' brains with hate and propaganda to be able to hopefully form them into our perfect super soldiers, Gen Z super soldiers in like 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, to be able to hold on to our culture and our people and our country, or something along those lines. What they mean is like, hold on to our country. What they mean is maintain the white majority, don't allow minorities to get too much power, relegate queer people and people who they seem as deviant to the fringes of society, if not in prison or dead, and take complete control off of all branches of our legislative and judicial systems to be able to do what they want, whether it's legal, moral, ethical, or not. This is what these people are. Understand that. They want you dead. I want to move on to one of the last clips from this before we move on to something else. It's up to 48 minutes.
And
what do you think this, like, how could, I mean, I assume the person who said that is not like a serial killer or obviously evil person, but that's so evil. What is going on here? Do you have any theories?
Just so you know, what she's saying is so evil is that Chaya called a children's hospital and asked them if they perform hysterectomies, and the hospital said yes, because sometimes you need to perform hysterectomies on people, and she thought it was evil.
I think there's something so unique about the LGBTQ community. Has become this cult, and it's so captivating, and it pulls people in so strongly, unlike anything we've ever seen. And they brainwash people to join, and they convince them of all of these things. And it's really, really hard to get out of it. It's really difficult. And there are studies on this. Like, there's been a lot of reporting on this about people, parents who are like, my child is starting to say, that they're non-binary or transgender or whatever. And what do I do? How do I stop this? And
what do I do? How do I, me as a actual good parent and not a bad parent, asking a Twitter user, how do I properly abuse my child because they don't identify the way I need them to? Because it's my life, not theirs. Fuck you. Okay, thank you. Very cool.
It's really, really difficult. It's unlike anything we've ever seen, I think. It's extremely poisonous.
But what parents are looking at is like the destruction of their own children, the destruction of their own family line.
So what's important here is to understand that what he means here is simply, and some people will take this as a big leap, but this is what they believe. If you understand the words that they're using and how they talk about these things, they would much rather their children be dead than be anything other than straight, cis, and het. Let's be honest with ourselves. If they had to choose, if they were like, would my child be dead or would my child be queer, or yeah, basically, would I be more okay with my child having blue hair or my child being dead? And they're racking their brains and they're like, man, what a hard choice. And you tell me that these people care about kids? You're telling me that these people care about children? Really? Be honest. This is ridiculous. This is insane. They said the child is destroyed. You are a destroyed person. You are a non-person. Inhuman, subhuman, barely human, a shell of a human or something. You are destroyed. That's the word that he used. If you are not exactly like him or exactly what he wants you to be. Honestly, it seems like what he's saying, and I think this is a reasonable understanding of it, is that these people are already dead, or like walking around dead, or something along those lines, spiritually, metaphysically, or something along those lines. Or to them, it's horrible. These are horrible, awful, terrible people.
Do you see, without getting too personal, but do you see a spiritual component to any of this?
Interesting question.
You don't have to answer that if you don't want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I do. I don't think this makes sense at all.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And I think they're evil. And sometimes we try to break it down a lot, and we discuss like why this is happening, what's happening, and whatever. And I think sometimes the simplest answer is like they're just evil. They're bad people. They're just evil people. And they want to groom kids.
Yeah.
They're recruiting.
So I want to just like dissect this a little bit, because this is probably what I've seen as one of the most blatant threats against people who aren't like her. I've seen her say, and I've seen on just like cable news period, besides when Tucker Carlson said that when it comes to queer people existing and like being seen by children, that parents' response should be to get guns and possibly even shoot queer people. Besides that, which honestly I know is a high bar, but what she said is that they are just evil. I want to like talk about the importance of the word evil here, because we kind of throw it around a little bit, but we need to understand here. What she's doing is simple as essentialization, right? This is very clear build up to dehumanization and taking away rights, or killing or marginalizing or ghettoizing people who they don't like, being queer people, being left-wing people, people that they just don't like. They want to do some sort of like legal action, social action to ostracize, demonize, killed, jail, something along these people because they think they're evil. Be honest, right? Like if we say this, do you believe that they believe all of these things, that they're grooming children, and grooming is like probably one of the worst possible things that you could do to a kid, and destroying children and sterilizing them and doing all these things to them? Do you genuinely believe that they believe all of this while not believing that they think that these people should like be in jail or something? So it's either that they believe that grooming is like bad, but like it's not that bad to like put somebody in jail or kill them for, or they think that grooming is bad and they do believe that they should put somebody in jail or kill them for. It's one of the two options. There is no in between, so pick one. And honestly, I believe that it's the former rather than the latter. We use the word evil here because evil has no like reason for doing. Evil has no explanation. It just is. She just believes now that people who she doesn't like are just forces of pure evil whose goal is to harm them because they are good and we are bad. Simply it. This is one of the most blatant arguments for just killing people or throwing them in jail for just not believing what you believe that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I have to say, well, I don't agree, and I will not accept my community doing anything in the sort of like doxing or doing anything these things like that. You can put in perspective why people would like take any action against these people. I do believe action needs to be taken against Tucker Carlson, Fox News, Chaya Raichik, Elon Musk, because Elon Musk not only allows Chaya Raichik to be on Twitter, and he not only gives her special treatment, but he likes her, and he likes her content. Posting publicly available videos isn't harmful, hateful, or dangerous. You know, it is harmful though, being queer and looking at children, or children looking at you. That's what harmful, evil, or dangerous is, right? And Elon Musk leaves a like on this. He agrees with it. We have a stochastic terrorist owner of a large social media company And honestly, at this point, I love Twitter. I genuinely do. It's one of my favorite social media platforms. But if what it takes to stop them is to just completely wipe this entire website off the face of the earth, the entire world is better off for it. Because think about it. Chaya Raichik, and she got her power, her influence, her everything that she has, right? And on top of this, it recently came out, she said on Twitter not too long ago, and and in that interview, that after that Taylor Lorenz article dropped that showed publicly available information that she posted herself publicly, that Ron DeSantis, of the governor of Florida, personally reached out and said that she can dorm in the governor's mansion of Florida if she feels threatened, which is insane. But these ghouls and these goblins stick together. They're hordes. They want to form gangs to harm you, to kill you. This is what these people are. Understand that. It's important to understand this, that Chaya Raichik is a unique case because she has nothing going for her, okay? She doesn't have the power, money, influence that would get you to get a personal invitation to the governor's mansion of Florida without her Twitter account. She's not powerful or influential because she's smart or interesting or creative or innovative or intelligent or hardworking. Nothing of the line. All she literally does is take a screen capture of like somebody with blue hair off of TikTok or Instagram and then go, hey, this guy's a pedophile, aren't they? Lamau. It would be so great if they got like fired from their job. That's literally all that she does, right? All that she does is just find people to harass them and try to get them like fired or killed. That's it. That's it, right? She's powerful simply because she is hateful. And that's it. Hate and fear are some of the most powerful emotions that we have as people, and that's all that she runs off of. Hate and fear. That's all that she has to her name, is hate and fear. And this is why she was able to garner so much power from doing what she does, because these people hate minorities and they fear them being more powerful or even equivalent in power socially to them in any way, shape, or form. And so they must be destroyed because they are destroyed people looking to destroy the world and children and whatever. That's who these people are. And if you need any more information about that, something incredibly interesting dropped not too long ago, which was that mere hours after she showed her face on Fox News, people were able to put something together, something that was already put together once again by Taylor herself, looking back in the Wayback Machine, her replying to Candace Owens on her new Twitter handle name about how Candace Owens saying, oh, the riot at the Capitol where they killed a bunch of cops trying to stop them from killing a bunch of representatives to stop them from overthrowing the fucking government because they lost their election. That's not as bad as these like uppity Negroes, ain't that right? And then Chaya replies, I was there today and it wasn't even a quarter as bad as this. Pardon me, ma'am. She was there. Remember this? You remember what day this was? 8:29 p.m. January 6, 2021. I wonder what was going on there. There are a few crazy people that stormed the Capitol and went inside. The footage even proves it, but only a handful of people were inside. It was mostly peaceful, though. It was really nice. Wow, would you look at that? It's very interesting. And if this wasn't enough information for you to tell you that she was at the Capitol, she was one of the rioters at the Capitol, people were able to put it together mere hours after she went on. This old clip, this old video that's been around since the 6th, recorded by one of the rioters as they recorded themselves doing all their crimes. Listen, they're hateful, they're evil, and they're bad people, but hey, listen, nobody ever said they were smart. Take a look at this woman in the red hat. Go. You see that? You see that? You see that lady? You see her? She looks a little familiar, does she not? Lady looks a little familiar. Now, many people are saying, that this is actually Chaya Raichik herself at the Capitol, very close to the Capitol, right there with the people pushing into the Capitol at that very moment to go to try to kill as many Democrat and rhino Republican politicians as they can, since Donald Trump isn't going to be put through as the new president of the United States. And a little bit more information off of that. You can see their two faces close together, same hair length, about the same face shape, same chin, 100%. Now, that is enough information for you. Chad Lauder, a journalist who posted a lot on Twitter, but was subsequently banned for being too based and red-pilled for Elon Musk, so he personally banned him, and he keeps him banned to this very day. Wrote a very interesting article about Chaya, where he went through a couple of old pictures from January 6th and found something incredibly interesting, which is gone over here in this thread. If you take a look here, here's the woman again that we looked at a little earlier. And you can take a look right here on her hand as she's touching her face, and you can see this very interesting and very distinct ring. It's this wraparound ring. It looks like it's a heart or something along those lines, but it is a ring. It is a ring 100%, and one that's pretty identifiable. Now later, while she was talking, she speaks with her hands, as any New Yorker would. I understand. I speak with my hands too, okay? As you can see, the ring on her hand, again, on the same hand, on the same finger, and it's the same looping sort of heart ring. It's a little harder to see in this screenshot because it's not like super high quality, but many angles have shown that this is the same ring. The same exact ring, same hair, same chin, same eyes, on the same white woman who claimed herself that she was at the Capitol. So if you put all the pieces together, all these very, very clear pieces together, you can see that she was actually indeed one of the people who are the rioters at the Capitol. 100%. Strange, is it not? Very weird, is it not? And now, the only thing left to do is see if the FBI knows about this. The FBI should honestly take some time to look at this. I think they're still arresting people for January 6th. They're still combing through video evidence of what people were doing, where they were, and why they were there. And Chaya now revealing her face, her ring, and all of her identifying information to get her 15 minutes of fame on Tucker Carlson to talk about how much she wants to kill queer people, has proven that she was a little closer to the action and saw more people doing more bad things than she was letting on. And what she was doing there exactly, I'm not sure. But I do think the Fed should probably figure that out sometime. On top of the fact that I believe that every single place that she attacked, defamed, demeaned should 100% put a lawsuit up against her. 100%. Now that we exactly know her name and her face and stuff and things along those lines, we should 100% do that. Because she is dangerous for everybody who is seeking medical care, help, and all of these children who she claims to want to protect and not destroy. Because everywhere she goes and everywhere she turns her gaze, death or the threat of death follows. In another thread, for the last year, bomb threats have been connected to anti-LGBTQ hate. In particular, there are multiple verified instances of correlation between bomb threats and libs of TikTok's tweeting within a broader epidemic of bomb threats tied to queer hate. Back in May, she tweeted about this Wisconsin school where she says students were being accused of sexual harassment for not using the right pronouns. Later, there was a bomb threat. In the most high-profile instance, libs of TikTok made many tweets, dozens of tweets about how Boston Children's Hospital is a grooming gang of pedophiles here to destroy children. Later that same week, bomb threats came in, and 2 people were arrested. In October, Chaya tweeted once again about this fake trans-Canadian teacher with fake tits. Once again, after that, there was a bomb threat. Earlier December, Raichik heavily promoted an edited video of Project Veritas about the dean at Francis Park High School, and a few days later, boom, bomb threats. California Senator Scott Wayner has been subjected to Raichik's tweets twice this year, and following that, bomb threats again. If you can see a little pattern here, Chaya sends her people out, and then they do bomb threats. It's just what they do. They want to kill you, or at least make you think that they're going to kill you sometime soon, and try. This is not new. Violence against minorities is something that's been going on in this country for as long as this country has been around, period. This is simply a new face and a new name onto it. But they don't love minorities, they hate minorities, and they want them to be subjugated or killed, and they'll do it by any means necessary. This is what these people are. And they'll always deny it, and they'll always say, no, we just love children. They don't. They hate children. They would rather them be dead than be queer. They would rather them be dead than be a minority, a social minority specifically. These are horrible human beings who are pushing for the death and destruction of communities, not because they're causing harm, but because they don't agree with them, and they simply hate them. They're fueled off of nothing but hate, and they need to be stopped. There's a reason why the FBI and other federal organizations around the world target these people as being the most dangerous people to the safety of the United States because they prove it time and time and time again. They'd much rather we all be dead than us all be happy, living who we are, and having blue hair or pronouns.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.